Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. I can tell the warm weather's moving in. It's heating up a little bit. Sure, it'll still be a little cooler at night because the days are shorter and it's cooling down a little bit more at night as the sun moves away from the earth as we head to that winter solstice. I guess that's the shortest day of the year. So again, remember, you can't be, they'll try to make you, and you can't be like Lot's wife. You can't look back. Now, you can look back to strategize forward, but you can't go back. It's like people that I've befriended and tried to help, and then they either work for the deep state or they were just, you just can't help some people. I mean, I'm probably the best at continuing on and trying to help them. But you can't, the system will try to get you to lament over it. Now, if you have a lot of money and a lot of weight, it's a lot easier to do that. Not that you're looking back, but you can stay longer. And because you're not going to suffer loss in your life beyond a certain point. When you're living an extended stay, there's a different set of rules. So, yeah, I tried to help them. I don't know where they went off to. That's fine. But, they have apparently Johnson County is helping them with some sort of housing. So hopefully they got something a little more permanent. I'm not involved in their life. I don't know if there was a way that I could be where I could talk to the counselors. But I think the issue is that he drinks, and he's not a horrible person, but she's got psychological issues that are triggered by some of the things that he does. She's, in a way, she's childlike. So, he can get her goat pretty easy. And, nothing against drinking as it is. I don't come against people's choice to drink, but there's the Bible's theme, and the church kind of ruins all the themes of the Bible because they go over. You don't drink at all. Well, no, it doesn't say that exactly. Don't drink to excess. Paul made a lot of statements that it had been better maybe if this, that, or the other thing, but God has actually amended that in my life to show me that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that if people drink as long as it's not to excess. And what Paul was doing is something that we all learn about. That if Paul hadn't been married, his follow-on life wouldn't have been what it became. So again, Paul himself said that, and again, God had him say that, because so you would understand that he's looking through a glass darkly. And the other said, there will be a time when there will be additional information. Now, why does the church say this is it? There's nothing else. Nothing will ever come? Because they're corrupt. Because they're with Satan. Because if Satan can limit your knowledge and limit God's ability to lead you forward of what Satan is changing on the planet by using the time and tested techniques of evil, accusation, causing others to fall, etc., then Satan's got the planet. So again, that's pretty much where the church is. That's why the church is so solidified in what it says. But what it also does is they also have a building fund, deacons, got to pay the preacher. So all that's going on. The idea where you take no script has not moved as it should, and that's also the plan of Satan, where if you bring no script, they're probably going to arrest you for vagrancy or something similar to that, or fake vagrancy, not fake vagrancy, but they'll arrest you for vagrancy, but not call it vagrancy. Right? They'll find a reason to do something to you. Also, the workman is not worth their wages today. They are not being paid their wages. So again, that's what they'll use. Well, we have money because the workman's worth his wages. But in reality, that's been done away with. Satan pays, and that's pretty much what you can say about payment on this planet. Unless God can dupe Satan into giving somebody a retirement. Sour grapes, that's your answer? Okay, we'll use sour grapes as an example of what I was speaking about earlier. You know who these people are. You know that many of them have wealth, spoon-fed life, have been forgiven for crimes, have been given things in life, and they still have sour grapes. So how's God going to use that? Well, whatever you use to take me down with sour grapes will now take you down exponentially. But remember, you're sitting on trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. But you can't find an ark in the flood to save your lives. That be your spoon-fed world. So what is God using? Yes, Satan assures you a certain type of life, and you've seen it. You can actually hear them using Satan's bullshit to get out of something. So when Satan can pull some power and power them up, go, oh, you did it. Now you're forgiven. But it's usually based upon their own works. They're deceived. Well, again, if you deceive, then being deceived is whatever. So why would God send them strong delusions so they would believe a lie? Because they deceive, and they even want to be deceived. They deceive, and they want to be willfully ignorant, or they want to be ignorant, and it's willful ignorance. This is the entire world. You're all bullshit. That's their thing. Oh, but it's a large part of the world, and we're big. It's large. It's a very small part of the existence. So small, it's not even 0.000000000 to the millionth power 1% of the existence. Now here comes Satan. This is a prison planet. That's what it is. Well, it is to a certain degree, but it's not God's prison. Oh, hee hee hee. Because that's how these people are. Oh, hee hee hee. When it doesn't happen the way they hee hee. So again, that's another form of willful ignorance. So this warmth, it's kind of strange. Right? I mean, it's only September 1st, so it's interesting today. A lot of the federal paydays are spread over 3 or 4 days, and it all came on one day. So the federal treasury, the U.S. Treasury, has a big debit today. Major debit day. We will attack them today. Make them feel stupid. And that's another thing they do. They make people feel stupid for doing the right thing. So the whole thing of the influencers, it's very nice that people can make a lot of money out of nowhere, but it's a scam. Those people are propped up. Don't ever think that you couldn't. If the planet was neutral, you'd be a big influencer too. And they kill off one every so often. Why? To rule the other influencers to do exactly as they say. Now, it's not going to be 100% of their life because they'll just move between person. When they need them, they want them to be corrupt. They want them to be criminal. They want them to be demonic. Or they won't have that life. And some, they just commit suicide. That's built in. It's in the federal government also. It was in the federal government before it was in the influencers. So there's most likely people there are involved as global federal governments. So I'm trying to shore up my rig. I got some some new stuff. You know what? I didn't hit that other. I'm gonna hit that other setting because this is probably not cutting through. All right, here we go again. This is maybe a little more not as pleasant, but the sound is better. You probably didn't hear me as well in the other setting. However, this is the part I don't understand because it's pinging there, but it's barely moving there. I don't know. It's kind of a weird setting when you can't go in your phone and change the setting on the device, and that's we're stuck there. Somebody's blocking technology from moving forward. Because we should be able to use an Android device and change these settings on these audio devices by now. Even if you have to build a separate app and use it as a Bluetooth connection. Somebody's stagnating. Could be that they hate the ability for people to broadcast whatever they want. But I found some of my older core cables and was able to put some additional Velcro on here. And I bought a new, like I said, I bought a couple new hubs. This one seems to be working real well. And it actually has all the connections going straight up instead of the other one. I had some connections on the bottom, so it was like I'm wearing it on a belt, so you have to feel your way underneath. This one, it's all on top. It does cover one of the USB. The way I have it mounted covers one of the USB-A ports, but I only need one USB-A and one USB-C, one for PD power and one for the data. So it's working great. Both of them actually, without even thinking, both of them came with all the ports on one side. That seems to be flowing smooth here. Hey, there's Bob. Hey, Bob! Bob Hamilton! How you doing, Bob? I wonder if he hears me. They have these, plumber trucks? And I don't even know, what do they do? Is he a plumber? He's some sort of home improvement type of guy or repair guy. And his world headquarters is down the street, so his vans drive by all the time. But he's on his vans waving. Like a life-size image of him. So he drives by and waves at everybody. And then the other guy on the billboards, I guess he's a civil attorney. These are actually the big people in the community. They're probably nice people. I don't think they're racist or anything like that. I mean, they might be a little, I don't know, but generally they usually aren't if I see them. The real big people, like they're supposed to be like the mayor and the governor. Bob's living pretty good. I think it's good business. At least he got something. He didn't go into the government. He made it right. So we do have a lot of personalized plates, and whatever it is. But I don't think I've seen this number before. So we need to look to see what the manipulation is, if there is one. I mean, it could just be spells or something like that too, which you wouldn't necessarily see anything. Could be a voice. Everybody, it's a ton of people. And it could be the people moving into the community from outside the community. Remember, they brought a bunch of people here, and they'll say it's for the election, but they're killing people and enriching criminals and protecting criminal enterprises. Right, the person donates to Republican. Oh, that's our guy. So, like law enforcement officers, like I was saying, when I have typo on my pages, the criminal law enforcement officers get, they laugh and they go, they got us covered, because they're online doing that to other people that would, have some junk on them from what they've been doing in their careers, corrupt people. Okay. So you might, just see if they moved in. Of course, I moved in, but so look at the personalized place to see if you see a trend of new residents, because that would make it a psychological operation. Now they'll tell you, well, we're saving the children, or we're saving, we're stopping all the criminals or the Trumps or whatever would titillate you into to just letting them do whatever it is they're doing criminally. They would attempt to use to explain what they're doing. If you're liberal, they'll explain it one way. If you're conservative, they have a dossier on everyone who will create one before they go visit you to explain it. Well, they're essentially taking over your community and for criminal enterprise. This is what they're doing. No, I'm not confused. No, it's not politics, but politics is criminal enterprise. Whether you engage in it or not, that's what it's become. Again, remember, some people drive the trash trucks in the mafia sanitation businesses. So they're limited in what they do. But the boss says, hey, I want you to go over there and stay at that hotel, and there's going to be a guy there. Just F with him all day. They'll do it. They don't want to give up their job. And plus, the boss will promise a promotion or a bonus. And then eventually there'll be a made man and made woman like the FBI, CIA, Marshal Service, and other people that I speak about. I'm not saying it's all of them. There was actually something else in with that. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, just trying to kill people. That's really what they're trying to do. That's where their bonus comes from. But again, along with that, there's criminal enterprise. Doing whatever the criminal enterprise wants to do. What they call it, Republican Party, Democratic Party, Green Party, big business, Chamber of Commerce, church, mosque, Gurdwara, whatever it is. Again, in their mind, they're the rulers. And that's why they're allowed to do what they're doing. But it's all bullshit. Oh, well. So these trees here, I was wondering, is it so cold that the trees and their leaves are changing color? But these are probably similar to the trees. I'm not sure what tree it is. Last year I knew what it was. Go back to what I said. Because I think these are the same trees. The heat is actually causing trees to brown. The heat waves. Not all of them, but this particular tree and that one over there, they're the same tree. I don't know if the other ones look different. All right. Oh, they're still here. All right. So it is what it is. But, what I'm getting at is in the coming decades, some of these trees might actually die. Right. So as the weather gets cold, hot, it survives. But right now it's stressed because of lack of. It's really more than just a lack of water. It's a lack of the proper environment because it's been here for how many, decades upon decades, living based upon this environment being a certain environment, and now it's 10 degrees hotter or something like that on an average, or 5 degrees, whatever it is. So it's not as well. Now, some of the trees are doing great, but you'll probably see a change in trees. You may see landscapers recommending different trees. That's probably something that should have landscapers should evaluate the trees that they're recommending and see if they need to alter that. Looks like the trees in the forest aren't having that one over there. Does you see that's wide out? That's outside of it. So, well, I guess it could work its way inside. That one over there is changing. Oh, here's my delivery from FedEx. Ungrounded. So what they do is they physically block for a season until the witches and the devils get the curses in that particular location going and bring in additional devils, demons, antichrist, witches, and sorcerers. Then they go, okay, yeah, we let him up, but it doesn't seem like he's doing anything. I see, we told you it wasn't us. But there's no place to go now. And they know how it works. They're devils. Kill kids in their grade school when they were in grade school. Or whatever happened to their life. Again, killed could just be a metaphysical loss of power that caused the kid to be molested or something like that. Of course, or the parents lose jobs and they move out of the school district because now they're poor. So again, these are the type of people that they're promoting on the planet. That's really who they are. So we even saw in a couple of the school board meetings where they said, "I know who you are. You're the guy that abused me as a kid," kind of thing. Right. Now they laugh at that, but that's real. That exposes who they all actually are. Now, of course, not everybody is that, but again, the deep state's probably maybe at this point 40, 50%. It was about a third when I started speaking. You got a bunch of class clowns running around. That's what's going on, actually. Now, as far as Biden fixing the economy or whatever it is he's fixing and Trump fixing, it's all bullshit. They're not fixing anything. What they're doing is taking credit for what God does. And when they're part of what's breaking everything, then they get no credit. What Trump was doing was adjusting the economy for his people. And it's not just business owners. Anybody corrupt. Again, you're an honest business owner. Trump doesn't want anything to do with you. And again, the last time we had the crash back in 2008, that's what happened. All the good business owners were destroyed. And everybody else that was corrupt pretty much stayed. And some made it, of course, but that started shifting. They go, we're safer because of this. That's where their minds are. It's bullshit. And they go, well, it's bail reform. If we just get rid of bail reform, then we'll be safer because of what we're doing. It's bullshit. I mean, look what's happening to this county while these people are running around. Again, what did Jesus tell you? Your children will judge you. It's happening. Happens all the time. Well, your children run around with guns shooting each other and shooting you. That judges who you all are. No, not my children. Well, Jesus didn't say this specific one for one. He says that generation, essentially. He never even say it, but that's what he meant. Mm. So again, when we see the larger picture of what's happening, when you look at people that the church is pointing at as being the great evil, you begin to realize how much bullshit it is. And what are they actually doing? You don't hear them speaking about Islam so much, do you? Why? Well, because, they'll arrest us for it. No, because the Islamic people are doing what? We had a conversation in the spirit yesterday, and this is the result. Islamic people are paying them. It's like extortion. It's satanic extortion. So now the Islamic people are okay, and they're part of it. But, Islamic people, Hindu people, they're religious, but they're also believe in a caste system, and that's what these people are about. They believe that they deserve what they have while they kill out everybody else. And they say, well, we earned our money. Bullshit. Satan gave you money. But they want to flip that around because they're willing to Satan give me. Satan gave me, God gave you money. Now get the hell out of here, every last one of you. Whoa, child! Deal with that all day. So as it heats up, the allergies should decrease unless it doesn't heat up enough. There's no doubt in the world that God saved me from the government when I left the government. There's no doubt that devils killed government employees and laughed about it. And today, who are they? Millionaires, of course, because we earned our money. We worked hard. That's something else. We earned our money. See, now they're getting freaked out, right? Why? They're being destroyed by words. That's why they come into the community and they begin speaking about people, places, and things and twisting the mind of the people in the community so they'll will harm on their neighbor. Ain't no shit Satan gave them. So all the people that killed John Luna, or a majority of them, are they're probably all multimillionaires, actually. Well, they take everything from everybody else. Or I wouldn't have my multi-millions. That's the way they are. Your multi-millions are not worth anything if that's what you do to keep it and get it. Or get it and keep it. See, they're reversing it. They're spending. This is one of their whammies to undo what I'm doing by speaking the truth, is reversing the truth. So the planet will actually see the truth as false and the falsehoods as truth. Good, evil, evil, good. But I'm real time here hearing their whammies. And how can I do that? Because God shows me. When I say it, it has an inference attached to it. Anyway. Now it's 11:30. I'm out in the heat. But you know what? It's weird because the hot time, everybody always believes noon is the hottest time of the day, right? No, not really. It's like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. It's just like another bullshit of the planet. Everybody, oh no, I thought noon was a high noon, right? Everybody goes through life not even saying it. It's going to increase by a few degrees. It's like 11:30 now or something like that. And it's going to increase by a few degrees in the next couple hours. But it starts dropping off earlier. There's some cop in here that's so freaking mad. He's trying to do that official thing. What are you talking about? You're a criminal. That's what they do to people that want to say, hey, why don't you lay off that guy? Maybe we should help that guy. And start threatening with calling headquarters, calling internal, calling the press, and all of that. That's what they did in the Marshal Service to people. But it's bullshit because that person needs to be in prison in reality. But they have CIAers backing them, whether it be private sector, government, or foreign. So nobody does anything. But that's what they did. That's why they laugh when they see the typo. We're covered. Covered till when? Till you die, all of you. Actually, God had me tweet, post, whatever they call it. Have me post that thing about what am I going to say to God? Because they actually posted comments how could you stand yourself? What are you going to say to God when you stand on Judgment Day? We did it. We effed that planet. It's an angel army here. It really is. And they're speaking, and that's it, mostly. That's why they took us out of the pulpit. There were people that were in the pulpit that were speaking the truth. They go, oh, well, Koresh. Well, Koresh probably could have spoke the truth. I think he did have some of the truth. I have to go back through what he was teaching outside of the, illegal stuff and the criminal stuff. Right. Well, he may have found Koresh and he may have been a seer. So they did the number on him. Remember, they create pedophiles every day, mostly by their will. They don't even have to do anything. But they'll do it when they need to do it. Because why do they need to do it? Because that person deserves it. And they've done it before. Hey! No, because Satan won't let them rest until they do it. You should have seen the wackos in my workplace. They used to run around trying to kill me. I was kind of oblivious to it because I didn't know the truth of how things were. Just freaking obsessed over nothing. It's in their head. Satan won't let them rest. They'll go to hell. There's no way out. Now, as I said, God can say, I forgive all people that do that. No, I can't say that. What I say is, I forgave you before I came here, and that's it. That's the line that God gave me. It's a game. Again, they took the scriptures and wired the planet, so the scriptures would almost do the reverse of what they're supposed to do. So I have to re-speak the scriptures with my power, which is bigger than anything on the planet, but except for God, but actually bigger than God. So you got to explain this. I'm actually bigger than Jesus and God when you look at planetary power. But that's only because we live in a screwed up place. But I'm with God. I'm with Jesus. So Jesus says, well, we're kind of together. He prefers it that way. Why? Because it works better that way. Because what happened is Jesus is considered the church, and the church is so corrupt that if I say I work for Jesus, and he says, you work for us! Yeah! They're satanic, man. So I'm with Jesus and I'm with God. That's just how it works these days. It's just not worth it. What they do is they say, well, what about all the little kids? Well, in about 25 years, and I'm not telling anybody to harm little kids because that's where they'll go next, but in 25 years, or even less, they'll be executing people because their father and their mother showed them that. Maybe even executing their mother and father for a few dollars. I've seen that. So again, it's built into the planet. It's an illusion built into the planet. Well, I mean, we got to let the next generation try. Nothing against people on the planet, but I got to tell you the truth. It's just it's an exercise in futility. Procreation on this planet is an exercise in futility. It really is. It might as well end. Like I told you, this is nothing compared to the rest of the existence. First off, people that are good receive good life. Not the bullshit you all reversed. I know you reversed it. But you call that power! It's anti. It's bullshit. It's a drag on the planet. It's a lowerarchy. It's not a hierarchy. Oh, you blocked my housing again. No, it's blocked. Believe me. And most of it now is metaphysical. So we're now going to take it down. Take everything that did it down. Maybe your summer home will drift off into the water and never exist again. But I got insurance. Eventually they won't insure you people. Think about the heat. How much is it going to cost down there in Texas? All the southern states. Florida. Why do I say that? What do we know about Arizona through Florida? That's where a lot of wealthy devils reside or have a winter home. And what's going first? The coastline. That's where most of them live. Like I said, Oklahoma is going to be like coastal. Not really, but it's starting to eat away at the coast. Again, it could probably reverse. I'm not telling you, guaranteeing you anything, but I would stop because it's just going to increase. Again, their idea is, well, if it doesn't stop and God doesn't remove the curses, and they don't call it God, they just, if it doesn't change the way we want, because they believe they're with God, but it's willful ignorance. There's no way that that's God. If you stuck yourself in one verse of the Bible and stagnated, then you might, right? The Bible is chronological. It's not only chronological; it's collective thought. You can't just erase something. Again, what the church does and what it does is it erases Jesus. It really does. The church erases Jesus and resurrects, the first 3 chapters of the Bible, and nothing exists outside of that, while claiming to be with Jesus and be nice because they happen to do some charity. But yet they're causing everybody to fall, everybody not to have money, there to be hunger, all these things. Now, Jesus said the poor will be with us. But you know what that means? Everybody, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be people that have less money than other people. So again, what's considered poor. Right. But again, what's happening now is the wealthy believe they deserve additional things, while they believe people that aren't doing what they want them to, and you can't do what they want you to do. Again, it's satanic. So Satan makes an illusion that they're ruling somebody or a group of people. Right, so they just believe that they should have less. So that's that widening gap. It's the mind. I told you that before. It's the power projected, or the anti-power projected. No, Republicans aren't going to fix anything. Democrats aren't going to fix anything. I don't vote. It's useless. It's actually being part of Babylon. Now, I'm not telling you not to vote, but that's Babylon. But you think that you're actually going to affect the vote? Now, is there widespread cheating? Yeah, both sides. So I don't know why Trump's complaining. Maybe to cover up the fact that he's the one that actually cheated. And because he thought he would be president. So the big crime may actually be undiscovered, where Trump stole the vote and still couldn't win. Because if he's not president, he doesn't hold the keys to prosecution and investigation of in other words, I doubt Barr would investigate Republican voter fraud if he was, did another 4 years or whatever. He's part of the Republican Party. He didn't even want to investigate Democratic Party voter fraud. There's some, but it's not like this investigation ending fraud. And like I said, there's Republicans that definitely did it. And, they pointed that surge at the end of the day. That happens everywhere. That in Republican cities, that happens for the Republican. In Democrat cities, it happens for the Democrat because it takes so long to count the vote in those places. Right. Now, as I told you, the more absentee ballots they have, the better the Democrats do, because what actually goes on? It's very difficult for I wouldn't say just Democrats, but poorer people to vote generally. And again, if a boss has a bunch of Democrats working for him as a Republican, he's not going to give them any. He may even actually give them overtime on that day. And of course, they need the money, so they'll work it. So, we probably have situations where Republicans are getting the day off to go vote, and to fill in for those Republicans, Democrats are working overtime. Because that's the way these people are. That's how corrupt it is, actually. Is it everywhere? No, of course not, but I'm sure it's happening. So again, all the Republicans are doing is trying to shore up their win, because they saw it being eaten away by ways that people could vote that had to work on Election Day. So really, If you ask me, election day should be a national holiday. But again, still Democrats would lose because they're generally poorer people, and they're not, going to have essential work that they have to do. Right. Kind of quiet around here. This is weird. Is anybody staying here? I think we're back to where it was before. Like when I moved in. There's nobody here. I mean, it's a few people at night it fills out. But for the longest, I just had a bunch of people. I know that one group, even before that group moved in, there was a ton of people living there. I still hear you. I don't know what they're doing. It's just, I offered to give her rides to work, and it just. It wasn't going to be forever, but I figured I could do it for at least 2 to 4 weeks. Right. And then maybe they, help them get forward some other way. Right. They find a job closer or something. Right. But yeah, again, at least today they're not out there boozing it up. I guess they're saving it up for tonight and tomorrow. Right? Hey, Bob, how you doing? Bob Hampton just went by in one of his vans, vicariously in one of his vans. Yeah, it's not the equipment. I hit the. Let me make sure I get. It's not the equipment. I hit the cable, but guess what caused it? When it hit the cable, it reset to the other setting that doesn't sound as good. So they willed it. So this is one of the things they used to project is, oh, we're not actually the Antichrist. We're just playing with more because he wants to say we're the Antichrist. Bullshit, you're doing. You're the Antichrist, and the son of perdition is going to walk right in and be your dad. I still don't see Trump as the son of perdition, but who knows? He could go off to Russia and be the president of Russia. Vladimir Putin passes, and Trump's still like 90. Come on! He's a gang boss. Come on. So they get like, I think you put Melania on there and everybody on there, like, okay, you know what you're actually doing? That's a crime family. They're dressed up with upper crustism. But that's a crime family. Anybody that's really in law enforcement and knows the truth and sees the truth knows it's just a crime ma. Another crime ma bemoaning her husband's fate at the hands of corruption. Oh well. Well, the thing is to get their life stable, right? But if he was drinking too much, I just, you're not gonna, nothing's gonna go in there and go anywhere useful when he's drunk or been drinking. So I want to try to talk to him yesterday. He's just on the phone and he's drinking. I mean, if we hadn't said, okay, you need me to do this, I'll do this for you, and I'll do for you, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But I'm standing there and you're on the phone, Gavin, and just waiting for our next conversation. Right. So again, he just actually, I don't know what kind of counseling they're getting or she's getting. You probably want to take them both together and tell him, not to make sure that he doesn't trigger. Don't you don't have to be accusatory, but if you say, when somebody, because what it does is to him it probably doesn't make sense. Right? But what he's doing to her he's kind of like when he's drunk, he's just kind of like, um, it's not really abuse, but because he doesn't see it, but he's like, he's being mean to her, I guess. Right. But for somebody like that, that can create a whole 24, 48, 72, a week long trigger. Right. I mean, cops do it all the time when they're, corrupt and doing the criminal enterprise stuff. So again, it's not much different than them, but again, that's somebody he's living with, and he probably doesn't realize like he has trouble the next day because of that. And he probably doesn't even remember, got all drunk and was being mean to her and stuff. Right. So be more sensitive. Be more sensitive. Look, this is them. I just like to pause for a rest in the shade, and I'm next to somebody's truck who was part of the operation, part of the bait person operation. And I kind of looked around. I ended up, I didn't like stop and look at their apartment, but I looked into their apartment. So like, if there was a camera, I'd be like, "Look what he's doing! Look what he's doing!" Again, they will shit all the time. That's why cops have such a difficult investigating something, because they got to, well, if they're honest, they have to go through all the bullshit before they get to the honest part. Because the illusions cast by other law enforcement, by other private eyes. So again, if you look at, see, I don't know what's happening in this investigation. If I could see the investigation, I'd tell you whether somebody corrupted the investigation. And because these people are so effed up in the head, they could care less if Lena's gone for 6 years while they fuck with somebody for 6 years, or a group of people. So they don't let the case get solved. I believe that's what happened in Gilgo Beach. But then again, who is it? Right. So the boss man in that police department, somebody's operating him. That's what that all is. Somebody's watching him and operate. Could be Russians. I don't know. But it could be a PI. It could be a criminal entity within that community. It could be other cops. What I got inside is somebody was watching him when that latest thing happened. There is somebody investigating him and watching him when the latest thing happened with the thing in the park. Remember I brought that up in Oklahoma? They were cursing me to that. And they cursed those people to that. So somebody's operating him, but yet everybody hates him now. So it's okay, right? Well, who is it? Could be narcotics strippers, sex traffickers. Because sex traffickers have the ability to manipulate sexuality. Again, so do law enforcement officers, sexual law enforcement officers. I'm not telling you everyone's doing it, but they have the ability to manipulate sexuality. And if you put somebody who's had an experience of willing a woman or willing a man or willing a trans woman or trans man down into a sexual situation, they can use the position of law enforcement to will people in the community to be sexual, including criminal sexuality. That's what that is. It's devil will. And I will never do that. Now, when I talk to the thing, I say it, but I'm not actually willing it. I'm trying to figure out what the thing's doing. See, that's how I know. I speak to the things because they project it at me. Like, they want me to be one of them, but they're not going to give me anything. It's going, you did the same thing we did. No, it's very different what I'm doing. So when I was listening the other day, it was telling me where to go, what to do, when to click, when not to click. It actually physically timed down on a couple of things, not everything. So again, they may be trying to cover it up, where they time it out on a couple tweets they want me, or posts they want me to stop, then they'll do it on a couple that don't make any sense, because that's what did happen the other day, but didn't happen before. It always timed out where they would want it to time out while they're willing, sexuality or whatever else. So again, these young people, and again, some people are victims of that. They're not it. But the ones that aren't victims of it, that are being willed down into a sexual situation, and again, a third party could will two people into a sexual situation and laugh because, they all have, sexually transmitted disease and all those type of things. And then they come out and they're in the FBI, and then they're, the sex squad, and they're doing the same thing there. And then now they have more anti-power because they have the status of the FBI. Have $1 million bank accounts. So what they're doing also is they're restricting orgasm until the person becomes that thing. You have to like fight them to orgasm in the way you want to orgasm. So again, all this provides the forgiveness for anything that would be sexual unless you're doing that to somebody. And again, play is not real. There's real and then there's play, right? So Satan will create a certain level of play to make you think that you're doing it real or something like that. But that's them again. You can't, orgasm until you do this or do that. Whether you hear it or not, that's kind of what it is. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. And you call them the best of the best? The best of the best devils, I guess. So that's why they make fake cases, because then they keep watching the person, spelling them, and then blocking things like the Bible tells you to get married. Won't let him get married. How do you stop him from getting married? Saying that if he gets with a woman, it'd be the most dangerous thing on earth because his psychology is dangerous, that kind of thing, or her psychology is dangerous. Because they know that fights. They actually know. They're not biblical, and they're not like, good people, but they know that marriage and good relationship fights their sexual curses and adulteration. So again, like somebody like Rose Montoya just came on. She's okay. I mean, you look at her life, it's like, oh, you said her. But she's paying the price for being part of a church family, and actually one day would have been a preacher. So they ended the lineage, I guess, of preaching in her family, because they're probably good people. I mean, he's a good preacher if he accepts his son. That's a son, right? Or was a son. Right? That's just, you. Again, what do you believe in God? like when your daughter is something like to go, Dad, I'm trans. I have to transition. What do you believe in God, son? Oh, God, come on, don't bring that in. No, do you believe it's God? Yes. Do you believe Jesus? Yes. Okay. How much it's going to cost us? I mean, my mind is like that, but that came from God the other day. That's why I wrote some stuff on. Well, I believe that it's not a settled point as far as what did happen with a sexual arousal in that sorority. What was her name again? I can't remember her name. I have to look it up again. But I will tell you that women are aroused in sororities, but you can't see it. Because women tell me. There's women here all day talking to me and telling me how you all lie. But again, that should not be happening, and apparently he's not living there any longer. Well, they didn't invent those for men. The clothes he was wearing. So it doesn't kind of work. Well, it is what it is. I understand that it exists, and I understand how it exists. So I'm not going to attack the person that's part of the thing that was caused. That's Satan's tricks. But again, that's where the Bible says let's not judge this stuff, right? Is it dangerous? Nah, I don't think he's going to attack a woman, or she's going to attack a woman. But again, if he's getting sexually aroused, he should move out, live somewhere else, right? And I think he did that. But I don't know if it's related to that, because they're saying it didn't happen. I mean, he may have just had his package there. He may have, well, look direct. Because what may have happened? He may not have tucked that day. Right? He may have tucked other days and they never saw it. And that day he just was too lazy to tuck. And so again, that clothes wasn't made for men or for trans women. Right? If you look at I'm noticing some of the trans women clothing online. Not that I'm looking at trans women clothing. It's just when I go to Dayton, Asia, I look at a lot of different things and I see that there's trans women. And if you look at their photos, a lot of them are wearing trans women clothes. Right? It's much fuller in the front. It kind of looks weird, but because it looks like a diaper or something. Dylan has the idea, right? Forget it. Don't worry about it. I don't think people are ready for that yet, though. So again, I don't know what it was, and it could have been what I just said, because a lot of times that's what happens. It eventually just appears, and well, she may have seen his package and figured it was hard or erect or whatever they want to call it. And again, he could have been, and maybe he's dealing with it, or she's dealing with it in their own way. But again, women get aroused, and then, like I said, some women came up in the mind, and they were like, "Well, the only time that I had lesbian relationships was in a sorority. It's the only time it ever happened to me where I felt attracted to a woman like that." So again, they were probably willed down by somebody that was close into their life to have sex. See, when I was telling federal women that that's what happens to them. That's one of the reasons they hated me, because the guys would get them on the assignment, right? And they'd will them into sex, and I'm like, they're willing you into sex, and the whole agency revolves around that. And again, I hate to use that term because it's been abused, but a patriarch system. So they have the ability to will you into sex because their bosses did it, they do it. But yet some of you women are doing it the other way. Get power to attack men. So again, this is all constructed by them. Isolation and then openings in certain areas. It's to do with other people too. And again, they're actually real time sitting there willing it up too. So you have to realize we have people in government sitting there on computers today, willing people into different types of sexuality. Some of it criminal. But again, also Russians, and they don't stop the Russians because the Russians and them are working together, and they both get rich together. But to get to this point, now they're fighting each other proxy through Ukraine and Russia. But don't expect those Ukrainians ever to pay you back for what they got from our country. I mean, that's real. In fact, if somebody pays them, they'll come over here and destroy us, and destroy the citizen. Every Eastern European country had way in Florida to do that and to make money doing that. I'll tell you that right now. That's the anti-United Nations down there in Florida. Some other places, probably every community, because who's in Florida? The people that live up here are living in Florida. No, Joey, get offline real quick. Get offline. Cop just passed me. Get offline and go in your room. Sometimes I'll just get the urge to use the bathroom when they do that. That's how evil they are. Oh, see, he went inside. Yeah. He goes inside like 10 times a day. He comes out 10 times a day. That's your real law enforcement officers would be with their shit. Only we can tell. Now do this to him, do that to him. Look, he's not sleeping well. Well, we're harassing him for like 7 months straight. I don't think I sleep well either. No, this means something. It means he's a pervert. Now let's isolate him and put pornography in front of him. So he's a pervert. I mean, they're wackos, man. So the whole time, like people in my office are like, meanwhile, I'm being killed by CIA and private investigators. They're corrupt, really criminal enterprise, and there's people in the office being paid by them. I really think that you were getting your game. Hey, you should have sex with young girls. Be more aggressive with women. Okay. That's what my day consisted of. Yeah, we want you to go on the street. I'm like, I'll go on the street on somebody else's case. I know these are a setup. So they're like, so they would talk to me like, yam, 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 yam. Here I'm battling, like a Kill Bill scenario. And I sleep at that, like not even awake. But God's been there, so it is what it is. And they are fighting the Ark specifically. Well, we're fighting your Ark. No, you're fighting God's Ark. It holds the power of God. The real power of God, not your little fake stuff. But Jesus Christ, we spent millions on this temple. So again, religion is what it is, but Jesus' model is essentially to be unencumbered. And that's one of the things that destroyed the church. It became encumbered with the need for money and riches and all those. I mean, not really a need, but they need like 500, and we got to raise 10 million. Preacher needs $1 million. He has to pay his construction workers and the force first. So we got to build a new church. We need another $1.5 million. I'm getting a little nervous, all of you. Contractors, yeah, big. I mean, begs to differ, or begs the reason, I guess, not differ. Begs the reason, contractors enforcing. Again, you don't have to punch somebody to enforce them. To enforce corruptly and criminally. You don't have to do a lot of things. You just have to do what they tell you to do, because why? It involves like 50, 60 people. So again, that's why it's hard to prosecute. But it's designed to defeat the RICO statute because it's so big, and what each person does is so minuscule compared to the overall concept of the operation, right? An overt act. So if you take all those overt acts together, it's something. And again, law enforcement's part of it, so they go, right? Oh no! Media public. They're all the same. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God, and all to do. Praise God.